It's election day.
We are determining the future of our city.
Calgary is poised to get a much different city council. A problem home shut down.
Our complainants complained of people coming and going from the property every day, evenings.
Police responded to this address dozens of times. And avian flu at a petting zoo.
You can develop flu-like symptoms, though, with this infection, but again, right now, it's considered very low risk.
The impact on animals and people.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. If you're out voting, it's going to take you some time to cast your ballot and even longer to find out the results. Stephanie Thomas is at Woodbine Elementary School, where there are lineups lasting as long as an hour and a half.
Right, Ian. That's because there's an extra form for this election cycle this time, and it's taking people a little while longer to vote. If you'll just take a look at this lineup behind me. Now, this is at Woodbine School, and at this tail end of things, the line is still growing with more people hoping to cast their ballot. This is at least an hour and a half, according to some voters who we spoke with earlier this afternoon. Now, there are 3 ballots this time for mayor, councillor, and school trustee. Last election, it was one long ballot. Now, voter turnout for this election is already reporting low, with Elections Calgary reporting that 90,000 votes have been cast by 4 p.m. this afternoon. And there are worries that the new process that's in place this time may cause some voters to leave before even voting. Now, one voter I talked to did just that. He checked on the lineup here at Woodbine, and he was told that it would be over an hour each time he inquired, so he just decided not to cast his ballot at all.
Well, it felt like I couldn't get in because the federal elections do in and out in 5 minutes, and this one is a municipal, and something like that could be computerized quite easily, and it sounds like everything is paperwork, and it's taking a while.
Now, I'll know this lineup, and at other voting stations, we're hearing that there are long lineups. If you are in line before 8 p.m., you will still be allowed to cast your ballot. Now, as well, I should let you know that it may take longer to cast your ballot, but it also will take longer to count all those votes. They're being counted by hand, so we will have details on the results, but that will come in later than last time. Ian?
A different process this time. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Polling shows it will likely be a tight race, with many Calgarians waiting until the last minute to decide who to vote for. Jordan Canigan joins us with more. And Jordan, what were the top issues on the campaign trail?
You know, Ian, if you ask pollsters and political scientists, there was no real defining issue or moment in this election, and that's one of the reasons interest and turnout so far has been relatively low. But there were plenty of promises made by candidates. Blanket rezoning was one major issue every candidate weighed in on over the last month or so. Most mayoral candidates want to get rid of citywide upzoning or make major changes. Public safety, a big topic as well. Promises ranging from hiring 500 new police officers to reopening a 24/7 police station downtown. Transit also got a lot of talk, with candidates pitching turnstile pilot projects at some stations, and also exploring an expanded free fare zone. And as you just heard from Stephanie, we're hours away from getting an idea which of those platform promises really resonated with voters.
And Jordan, the next council will be full of rookie councillors.
Without even knowing the results, Ian, we do know the next version of Calgary Council will include a lot of new faces with high turnover. At least 8 of the 14 councillors will be brand new, with incumbents deciding not to run again. That includes several longtime councillors who won't be back, with councillors Peter DeMong, John Carlo Carra, Sean Chu, and Richard Putman's all gone. That's more than 40 years of combined experience no longer there. And of course, there's a chance that the incumbents who are running may not be successful. It's going to mean a lot of learning for a lot of rookie councillors. And under new provincial legislation, 2 parts of orientation for all councillors is now mandatory. They will have to hire staff, get their offices in order, learn all of the procedures, and that's all before the new council will have to make the decisions on a whole new budget next month.
Steep learning curve indeed. Thanks very much, Jordan. CTV News Calgary will have complete results, reaction, and analysis live at 11 tonight. And tune into Your Morning Calgary starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow for more election coverage. The provincial legislature resumes this week, and if there's no deal with teachers, expect back-to-work legislation. New legislation involving Elections Alberta will also be tabled during the fall session. The province wants candidates vetted before adding them to the ballot to ensure they are serious about representing a community or a riding. It's in response to recent initiatives targeting Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre.
We have seen instances around the country where certain interest groups have taken upon themselves to confuse, I think, in some instances, some of the those who are going to the ballot box and creating very long ballots. But in terms of our intent, again, is to clarify the process, make it easier for people who are genuinely interested in running for office to get on the ballot and convey their message.
The fall session of the legislature starts on Thursday. Danielle, we saw those images of people lining up outside a school to vote, and it's taking them quite a while to get through there. But really, at least they won't be cold or rained on while they're doing it.
Right. It's sunshine. I mean, south of Calgary, it's a little bit on the windier side, but overall, a really nice day. So whether you're going out to vote or big game tonight. This is the Blue Jays blue color I'm wearing right now. Gotta support. Okay, 10 degrees is the temperature right now. That's where we should be pretty much for this time of year. So, and you can see all the blue sky. It's a stunning day out there, especially, you know, we're starting to get into late October. So not so bad at all. All right, this is your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit fifthapvw.com. And 8 degrees at 8 a.m. with some sunshine, a little windy again tomorrow afternoon up to 40 kilometers per hour, but that will get us up to 14 degrees, so even a few degrees warmer tomorrow than today. More details coming up, Ian.
Thanks, Danielle. An Airdrie man faces a criminal charge after a 17-year-old girl was struck by a vehicle. The hit and run happened on October 2nd. After the teenager was hit, the driver got out of the vehicle, yelled at her, and then drove away from the scene. RCMP say a 35-year-old man is charged with failing to remain at an accident scene. He'll be in court in Airdrie on December 11th. RCMP are thanking members of the public for providing so many tips about what happened. After dozens of police calls and months of complaints from neighbors, Alberta sheriffs have shut down a home in Calgary's northeast linked to drugs and violence. The Safer Communities and Neighborhood, or SCAN unit, obtained a court order to close the house in the 5100 block of Maryvale Drive Northeast. Calgary police have been called there more than 45 times since 2023 for drug, property, and violent crime offenses. The home and property are now boarded up for 90 days with other restrictions in place until 2028. The SCAN unit says the amount of crime associated with this one residence has terrified and intimidated area residents.
Complainants complained of people coming and going from the property every day, evenings, days. They complained of stolen property in the community, stolen vehicles, police chases, police always being there and being there. Drug paraphernalia in the alleys and in the front yards, and a general overall fear for community members.
Sheriffs had warned the owner last November to stop the illegal activity before taking today's action. The Calgary Catholic Immigration Society is celebrating the 40th anniversary of a program that's helped thousands of refugees adapt to our city. The Canada Connects program is volunteer-led, and since 1985, they've worked with more than 16,000 newcomers by showing them how to do things like shop for groceries, use public transit, and visit a doctor. They may seem like simple tasks to those who've grown up here, but when you've moved to a new country with very little time to prepare, it can be one of the most challenging life experiences imaginable.
It's so much easier to look at just humanity, not, oh, this is a stranger, they look different, they act differently. It's, well, another human being who looks for safety, who hopes to have a roof over their head.
Some of the refugees who now call Calgary home are paying it forward by sharing what they've learned with others arriving in our city. The program is also always looking for new volunteers to spend some time with the newcomer families. We've posted more information about Canada Connects on our website. People in other parts of Canada are very familiar with them rummaging through garbage bins, and now there are more raccoons in Alberta. Just ahead, why there's a population boom. And a local petting zoo, popular with local families, shut down due to avian flu. Also, if you have a news tip, text us at 10400. The Calgary Zoo is taking extra precautions following the confirmation of avian flu at Butterfield's Acres. The petting zoo in Northwest Calgary closed last Monday after confirmed cases of the highly infectious disease. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency and Butterfield Acres won't say how many birds have been culled due to the outbreak. While the risk for human infection of avian flu is low, anyone who visited the farm between October 6th and 12th and has flu-like symptoms is asked to contact HealthLink at 811 for assessment and testing.
Most of the time when people get this infection, they get quite mild symptoms, and they have things like that look like pink eye, so they get conjunctivitis, inflammation of their eyelids, usually not very serious, and it goes away on its own. You can develop flu-like symptoms, though, with this infection, but again, right now, it's considered very low risk.
Since the avian influenza outbreak in 2022, Goldsmith says there's been only one death in North America. That individual was immunocompromised. Meanwhile, the Calgary Zoo says out of an abundance of caution, it's closing the rainforest and Rocky Mountain aviaries. There will also be increased pathway disinfection at the Penguin Plunge. Calgary's raccoon population is growing. More and more raccoons are being spotted around Calgary's green spaces and nearby neighborhoods, and one wildlife biologist doesn't expect the trend to slow. She chalks it up to milder winters, changing scavenging patterns of many animals. Places like Fish Creek Park have habitat spaces and resources, and so the critters are moving in.
They are finding ideal habitat in there. Those old spruce trees are creating excellent denning sites, and they're also finding lots of food in the park and also in the surrounding neighborhoods. They're starting to venture in there. So if we can keep them in the parks by not offering them extra food, we'll keep them in the parks, but that's a tough sell, I'm sure.
There's no official city count on just how many raccoons there are in Calgary, but wildlife groups and pest control companies say they've seen the population increase tenfold over the last decade. I used to think that the raccoons were terribly cute, but
yes,
that's because they never got into my garbage. But as soon as they do...
They're cute little furry troublemakers.
Yes, that's what they are. We've got some sunny and dry conditions for most of the week.
Yeah, this work week looks fantastic. It may hold out for the whole weekend, but at this point, I mean, if you liked today, then you're liking what the week is going to give you pretty much. Yeah, we do have some cloud cover out there, but also a lot of blue sky, and temperatures, give or take a degree, are right where they should be in all of southern Alberta for this time of year. So we're doing okay on that front as well. Double digits, Drumheller, Brooks, Medicine Hat, Lethbridge, Milk River. We were in the double digits in Calgary. We did get up to 10 today, but now we're dipping off a little bit for the day. 8 degrees right now in Pincher Creek. Gusty further south. So we've had a bit of a breeze in Calgary today. Our maximum wind gust was close to 40, but close to 90 in the Pincher Creek area, and Lethbridge closer to 60, Medicine Hat mid 40s. It will be another windy day tomorrow. It likely won't be this windy in Pincher Creek, but you're looking about 60 kilometer per hour gust, certainly possible, maybe even 70. And for Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat, up to 40 to 60 kilometer per hour gusts, and for us in Calgary, similar to what we had today. But again, it comes with lots of sunshine. There's not a whole lot going on. There is a lot going on the BC side, but the mountains are really holding that off for us. So we're not going to see much make its way over. Some cloudy periods at times, really from now and through Friday. And I'll play this, I'll advance this. I'm not really going to stop it at any point other than once, because as you can see, yes, there will be some cloudy periods here and there, but also a whole lot of sunshine. And then overnight into early Thursday morning, we may get a couple showers in the city and up the QE2, but outside of that, it's quiet. Just a little windy at times, that's all. All right, and then look at that, clears out. So I expect to see a lot of sun I mean, you don't get as much vitamin D at this time of year, but some of it. 14 degrees is our high for the next couple of days. And yes, we are looking at windy conditions once again tomorrow, up to 40 kilometers per hour. It may even get up to 50 in the city. And then Wednesday, it should tame down a bit with regards to the winds. But mid-teens, really, for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So warmer temperatures, about 10 degrees is what's normal for this time of year. Saturday, we dip down to 12. And just to give you that longer range forecast here with the 10-day trend, Saturday we dip down to 12, and Sunday we're likely dipping down to 8, and it looks less stable for Sunday. And as you can see next week, the daytime highs are in those single digits. So enjoy these lovely teens and sunshine while we have it.
Bookings for Phase 2 COVID-19 vaccines opened today. Phase 1 included healthcare workers and Albertans with underlying medical conditions. Phase 2 is for all other Albertans. The shots will cost $100. The Alberta Vaccine Booking System website had also indicated you needed to pre-order next year's COVID vaccine by December 15th. The province now says there's no deadline for next year, and the website is being updated. A pro-national unity petition is gaining momentum. Still ahead, why organizers want to get enough signatures and then some. Some relief in the tariff war between Canada and the U.S. and China. Joining me is Faisal Karmali, portfolio manager with the Pupwich Karmali Advisory Group. And Faisal, a development today as Ottawa takes on the U.S. and China involving tariffs.
Yeah, some relief for those producers of aluminum and steel are going to come out the pipe. We're going to hear more details in early November, but keep in mind that this might be a trend. Until we have some sort of deal with the United States, the government might have to pony up some relief for a whole bunch of other industries, not just the aluminum and steel. So be prepared that in the budget coming up in November and potentially further on, depending on how long it takes for us to have some sort of deal with the U.S., more relief means more taxpayer dollars. So get ready for that in the upcoming months.
Also, some big job cuts at Molson Coors.
Yeah, we're seeing a 9% workforce cut of Molson Coors in North America specifically. They did not announce locations, provinces, cities, or anything besides the fact they want to stay true to their core business of brewery, energy drinks, and non-alcoholic beverages. Now, what's interesting about this one is people are wondering who's going to get laid off and where. We do have the Canadian headquarters here in Calgary, but many are saying that's not going to happen here in Calgary because Coors Molson just signed a deal with the Calgary Flames. So from an optics perspective, maybe Calgary gets the pass and other areas might get the hit.
Thanks for the update, Faisal.
Thanks for having me.
Canadian Tire will soon start to sell the distinctive Hudson's Bay blanket. The company says proceeds from the sales will go to Indigenous-led initiatives. Canadian Tire has promised to put at least $1 million into the fund, even if it doesn't sell $1 million worth of blankets. Canadian Tire bought Hudson's Bay intellectual property when the Bay declared bankruptcy. Voting is still open for the municipal election. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. Polls close in less than 3 hours, and some voters are waiting over an hour right now to cast their ballot. Coming up at 6, we'll have the latest on some of the trouble spots and what you need to know if you are stuck in a long line. Also ahead, raccoons are starting to show up in Calgary in larger numbers. Coming up at 6, a Calgarian shares what drew one to her backyard. Ian.
Thank you, Tara. With 8 days to go before the final deadline, a group petitioning to keep Alberta in Canada believes they have reached their signature goal. Just 2 weeks ago, the Forever Canadian group said it had collected 230,000 signatures. They needed about 60,000 more. Thousands of volunteers have been collecting signatures for the petition, which asks the signee if Alberta should remain in Canada. The leader of the petition believes they have gotten over 300,000 signatures, but he says they want to get as many as possible as insurance.
Inevitably, when you collect 300,000 signatures, there will be some mistakes. You know, people were signing in the cold, in the rain, in a rush, so those signatures will get disqualified. So we want to overshoot by about 10% to be able to sleep at night and know that we hit that 300,000 mark.
Volunteers are set up today near polling stations collecting petition signatures. Forever Canadians' deadline is October 28th. Firefighters and police officers faced off in a friendly but competitive tilt for charity over the weekend. The First Responders Charity Classic taking place at Winsport in front of about 1,000 fans. It was inspired by an annual matchup between police and firefighters in New York. Organizers say it's the first time in about 15 years this has taken place, and it's a fun way for police and firefighters to come together for a good cause. The next step for organizers is to bring the game from Winsport to the Saddle Dome. Well, if you're close enough to your polling station to walk there and cast your ballot, weather is no problem right now in Calgary. It's partly cloudy and 9 degrees. Danielle has details just ahead. Some nice temperatures for the next few days, but a bit of a wind tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and there's a bit of a wind out there in parts of the city right now. So up to 40 kilometers per hour for the next couple hours. That will die down overnight, and then it'll be back again tomorrow afternoon. But it's, you know, up to 40 kilometers per hour. We can handle that, especially when you get a high of 10 degrees, which, as you can see, is where we should be for this time of year, and lots of sunshine. It's a beautiful day, and it's looking like a very beautiful work week. In fact, you're looking at daytime highs in those mid-teens for the rest of the work week, and as you can see, for the next few days, and lots of sunshine as well. A little windy again tomorrow afternoon, up to 40 kilometers per hour, but it will cool down by Sunday into the single digits. So enjoy these teens while we get them. Ian?
Thank you, Danielle. Iconic Canadian rock band Rush is adding more dates to its reunion tour. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson say 17 new cities have been added to the tour, including an Alberta stop. The band will play Rogers Place in Edmonton on December 10th, 2026. That's more than a year away. This will be the first time Rush has hit the road since the death of their drummer Neil Peart. German drummer Annika Niles is filling in. Tickets for the tour go on sale October 31st. Not only did the Stampeders secure a playoff spot on Saturday, but they had some special company. Country superstar Shania Twain dropped in for the game, spending some time with the Outriders cheerleaders and going for a ride on Quick Six, the Stamps touchdown horse. Twain, who has a home southwest of Calgary, was also spotted after the game at Spanky's Saloon on 10th Avenue Southwest. Thank you for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.